I'm the library media specialist at Ware Elementary on Fort Riley, Kansas, and nearly 100% of our students are military families or connected to the military.
My name is Jordan Hansel, and I am a junior here at K-State, and I am a military wife. So my husband has been in the military for 2.5 years, and he is in the Army, and he is stationed at Fort Riley. He is a 19D Cavalry Scout.
I'm Elena Butler. I'm a pre-service teacher at Kansas State University. I am currently still a military dependent. I have been military since the day I was born. I move around a lot. I went to probably about 8 different states, and I was overseas in Germany, and I was also overseas in Hawaii.
The best part about working with military students is hearing their stories and building relationships and learning just as much from them as they do from us. It's incredibly rewarding to work with military students as their lives change so frequently. You're there for them and you're the consistent part of their ever-changing lives. I love making our students feel welcome and invited, not just in our library, but in our entire school. We all work so hard to make them feel welcome and comfortable and part of our Ware family.
So the best part about being a military significant other is having that kind of close-knit community and having a bunch of friends. And probably the best thing about being a military wife is having your husband come home after like deployments or trainings for X amount of days. It could be weeks, months, even years.
My greatest challenge is saying goodbye to our kids when they move. I try to focus on the positive aspect and stay optimistic and encouraging for the kids by saying things like, "Oh man, what a great adventure for you," and things like that. But on the inside, it breaks my heart every time. I love our kids, and saying bye never gets easier. You just hope they get the same love and support no matter where they go. Another challenge is being present and prepared when times are exceptionally tough for our kids. They grow up in a different environment than non-military students and families, and ensuring they have the proper tools and support to be successful even when facing the toughest situations is definitely a challenge. It can also be rather emotional for both our students and our staff.
So the hardest thing about being a military wife is definitely being away from your husband for so long, for those extended periods of times. We've definitely spent more of our marriage apart than we have together, which is it's tough. But also another thing that is kind of awful is him missing like anniversaries and birthdays and important events. So
Just being a military kid just became like, it was more like it's an identity you kind of have to embrace and stuff. Like, hey, I moved to all these places, I learned about all these people. It's very...
So our military family life consultant is definitely our greatest resource that we provide to our students and families. She is incredible. Every day she has small lunch groups that work together on overcoming the challenges of deployment and PCSing. And PCS is a permanent change of station when families have to move to their new assignment. In addition to our military family life consultant, we recognize military parents during certain assemblies such as Veterans Day. Many of our school staff are prior service members or spouses. Our school also works with behavioral health on the Fort Riley Hospital to support students in the school. We also celebrate the military child with focused events like Purple Up and Month of the Military Child.
okay, so I have made a lot of friends within the military community. When my husband got deployed, I got really close with a couple of wives whose husbands were also deployed, and I think it's a lot easier to become close with other military spouses because they know what you're going through, because they're obviously going through the same thing.
My dad, he deployed only like twice, I think. That affected me. Like, I don't really have like a relationship with my dad, so like it made it like kind of confusing, like when he came back and stuff like that, because you know, being that young, just like you're trying to remember who this man is, and you know that's your father and stuff like that.
Be sure to prepare materials for extra students at the beginning of the school year. Make sure you have all the necessary supplies to be ready for a student at a moment's notice. Provide time for your students to share their stories and their struggles, and encourage students to connect and show empathy with each other. Foster an environment in your classroom where students feel safe, loved, and respected.
Something that I wish that people knew about being a military significant other is that their schedules are so sporadic and everything could change at any time. It's one of the tougher things that I wish people knew.
I think the teachers, they're just like really good about like making you feel comfortable, especially being new. Like there's so many programs out there for like S2S, student to student. They help like military kids like get ready to like move to their new school and stuff like that, and try to figure out what the whole atmosphere is. I don't think school was really hard for me during deployments, because my dad, he was like more gone and stuff like that. So, and I was so used to him being gone that like that's just, I knew that was just something normal that happened and stuff like that.